YouTube tutorial on how I do my acrylic pours. Mine are a little different. I don't use a pouring medium. I just use plain white paint, white acrylic paint, and I just cover my canvases. These are my 8x10s, and I mean you can get a 6-pack for maybe $3 over at Walmart. This you get a 3-pack for maybe $2.50 over at Michael's. This is the 6x6, and I'll show you. It's a canvas panel. Here's another canvas panel. This is the 8x10s. And for the paint today, I am going to use, I'm going to use my purple. And this is from the Craft Smart. I'm going to use a Craft Smart glitter paint, which is blue. And I'm going to use a metallic green. This is a Christmas green with WD-40 in between each. And the reason I do this is so that it gives you more of that marbling texture. It gives you that visual. You'll see here in a minute. Okay, so let's get started. I have a cup of water. That's all I use to thin out my paint to the texture, to the consistency that I enjoy. Okay, and then I have these to spread the paint. All it is just a putty knife. I got a 3-pack, different sizes, for $1 over at Walmart. Highly inexpensive. Okay, and pour a little bit of white paint in my cup. Of course, I have to open it all the way up. I didn't do that. See how thick that is? It's really thick. I'm going to thin that out just a little bit. I'm going to put that over here on the side of the counter. Okay, I'm going to put it a little closer here. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Not much. Enough to mix in. I'm using just regular craft sticks to go ahead and mix in the water. So here's the consistency I kind of like. A little watery. You can always thicken it up. You can always make it thinner if you like. I personally like it to be pretty thin. Most of this is just going to go on the canvas just to make it to where the acrylic paint, when you move it, it actually blends the colors in the way that you want it to. Again, I'll show you. I may not explain it well, but the visual will definitely be there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the green paint. I'm going to do the same thing with each color. I should have had all this prepared before I did this, so I do apologize that that part takes the longest, opening up the paint. But once you get there, it's always the best part. Okay, got my craft stick in this one. I'm going to open it up. I'm just going to fill it up just a little bit. I'm not going to add too much because, I don't know if I want all 5 panels to have that color in it. I'm going to add just a little bit of water too, just to thin it out. Very little. These cups I got at Walmart. Again, I'm a Walmartian. I love my Walmart. Here's the consistency I'm kind of looking for. Well, I might add a little bit more just to make it a little bit thicker. I want it to where it's pourable, but not like a complete water. Ah, yes, perfect. You can kind of see how that pours in there. It's good. Okay, let's get the next color. We've got blue glitter. I've been dying to use this one for a while. Again, another Walmart buy. Can't go wrong. I believe it was $1.97 for one, $1.77 for another. I don't remember which one was which, but I do remember I got a good deal. You can buy a lot of these for very inexpensive, and This should go a long way. I'm hoping for 5 panels today. If not, it's not that big of a deal. You can always add just a little bit more. I like mine pretty thick. Again, so that when you pour it, it gives it that really good flow. And I mean, who doesn't want more glitter? And that one's going to be a little bit more. I'm probably not going to use it all. Okay. And my last one is the purple. Same thing, open it up. Well, gonna make sure it's all at the bottom. This is just a regular dark purple, because why not? And a little bit of water. Okay. Now, again, I did see on some tutorials that you should use a medium. Those are expensive. But it does go a long way, so I do agree with using it. I just didn't have the money for it right now, so I believe the white paint is sufficient enough. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, that's a little more watery than I anticipated. I'm going to add a little bit more paint. Mix it back up. Again, all I want is just for it to go onto the backdrop. It's good for the pour too, but I want it to just blend it all in. And when you do your purling effect, when you do your actual pour, it'll help you pour better, I believe. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this is just my favorite part. I'm just using this to make sure it coats the whole canvas. Some people do like to water down their canvas before doing this. I personally just use paint. It works just as well for me. When I thickened it up, you can kind of see the difference in consistency. First one was very watery. This one is thicker. I think second one will do much better, but we'll see. Who knows? And I just stuck my hand into white paint. That's okay. It all washes out. Okay, so I used a lot. You don't have to use nearly as much as I did, but again, it's up to you. This is your art. I just prefer to use a lot. And then I always package it back up and save a little bit more. I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is exactly what I said, is pick it up and use any excess for future pours. That was way too watery, but who knows how well that's going to do. While it's drying and everything, I'm going to get the other paint ready. Now this is the consistency that I think that you want. Slow pours. It all goes down to the bottom like you want it to. Yes, this is a complete mess, but who doesn't like a good mess? Okay. This one has a lot, but it has a lot to offer. I'm going to grab another cup, if I can find one. I think I'll just dump out my water here. And I'm going to pour in a little bit of white. Okay, a little white. Spray just a little bit of WD-40, okay? Done. A little bit of green. I'm not going to add the whole thing. Very little spray. A little bit more purple. Okay, I'll layer it up. Again, I do that just to make sure that when it mixes, or when it pours, it kind of stays separate. Again, not everyone chooses to do it that way. It's your art. Liven it up the way you want. Okay, going back to the green, add a little bit more of a layer. Now I'm going to stop using WD-40 because I think that I've used enough, and we will see the effect. I'm always happy with what happens with this art. Always, always excited to see the results. Now, I have made enough here, I think, for 5 panels. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit more white and do the other panels real quick. That way, I can just go ahead and use as much as I possibly can. I don't like to waste. Doesn't look like it, but I actually don't like to waste. And I know I'm going a little aggressive with this. I could definitely do a lot better, but I just kind of want to hurry up, since I'm sure not a lot of people want to watch every single moment of this. They just want to see the pour. I know I can edit some of this out. What's the fun in that? Okay. All right, now that I'm done with painting the canvas, I'm going to start a pour. Okay, here's what the colors look like in here. I'm going to go ahead and just pour a little bit on. You can barely see the purple. That's okay. It'll come through probably on another one. And you can always add more paint. You can always just manipulate it the way that you feel you should. I mean, again, this is all you. I know I've said this like 3 times during this video, but it's all you. This is all an expression of you, expression of your art. Pick it up, move that paint around the way that you like it. And again, this is going to be really messy, so you're going to want to have some kind of protection down for your counters. Usually I would do this outside, but here in the desert, it is actually raining. So what I'm going to do is just do it inside on my kitchen counter. Hopefully I don't get too much paint everywhere, and if I do, this all cleans up nicely. You can see the effect. It's kind of, the glitter is amazing. I can't really show too much detail, unfortunately, but wow, this is amazing. Very happy with the results. And yes, I'm just going to go on whatever. You can always put the excess onto another painting, but here is the ultimate result. Beautiful work, beautiful. And then you let that dry for about 24 hours and you're gold. You got yourself a nice little masterpiece. You can make yourself matching pieces. This one was very soupy when I put it together, so this one is probably not going to be as good as the rest, but I think that the results are still awesome. They're still fantastic. So with just all that I did, maybe $10 got me about 5 panels of actual work. So I'm very pleased with my work. I'm very pleased with how the results are and how this worked out. I'm going to actually put some of this down on another panel because I don't think that one of them got enough paint. Make sure you get on the sides. And let me wash my hands real quick and show you exactly how everything turns out. So here are the results. Absolutely gorgeous. And yes, my hand had some water on it. That's fine.